Phoenix. Jaquez on the drive, tiptoes, with Okada on her on the switch. Betts gets the deep catch and banks it in.
South Carolina will play primarily man-to-man defense, but they have the option to switch multiple defenders, and that time Lauren Betts had the advantage on Edwards.
That's the multi-time All-American. Puts UCLA on the board first. Here is Latson. Oh God, will fire. No. He's been shooting the three effectively late in the season. Johnson can't lay it in. Raven Johnson comes up with it. Another chance for South Carolina, and Okada cashes in.
And that is going to be a key for success. Anytime you're playing against UCLA and Lauren Betts, dribble penetration, draw the 6-7 shot blocker, and pass to a teammate for an open look. That's what we just saw.
Both Dawn Staley and Corey Close both mentioning the boards to us right away as keys, as Okada able to knock that away.
This is the versatility of Joyce Edwards as your four player, bringing the ball down the floor, creating for herself, will also create for teammates.
UCLA had 23 turnovers in the win against Texas on Friday night, and a foul there is going to go against Okada.
I was oofing the contact 23 turnovers, but they both deserve it. And that's what you have to do when you go against a dominant big, is meet them up the lane, try to prevent them from getting low position on the block.
Ledger Walker splash on a little mid-range. Charlize Ledger Walker, the New Zealander. A transfer from Washington State. Corey Close said one of the best leaders she's ever coached. Okada, no.
A rare time that Okada at 6'6" will be going against a bigger defender with the 6'7" Betts.
Here is Rice. E.T. Rice, another one of those seniors. Jaquez lobbing it in. Betts, the catch and the finish.
That has been a staple of UCLA's offense all season long, since they've had Lauren Betts in a UCLA uniform. When she is high side denied on the block, they will flash a player into the high post and play the high-low.
Good start here for the Bruins, a 6-2 lead. Latson nearly lost it. Weaving, taking, can't hit, but gets the whistle. And free throws here for Tania Latson.
You see Lauren Betts doing the work, fronted by Okada. And so what does the other post player do? You're taught from the time you're young. You flash to the high post, and then you look for that high-low look.
Lauren Betts, UCLA program records when it comes to field goal percentage, blocks, career points in the NCAA tournament. And she has been terrific here in her final tournament. How about Latson at the line in this tournament? So she's 26 of 30, but she is the first player ever in this tournament's history to have multiple games in a single tournament where she went at least 10 of 10 from the line, including what she did in the semifinal win against UConn.
In the last 3 games of the tournament, 21 of 22 from the line. She's getting there at a high clip, and she's making them when she does.
Playing with such poise in her first ever Final Four. Dugalich off the bench on the drive. Doesn't get the roll. Jaquez ups it in. Plus the foul.
Corey Close told us that we would see Dugalich relatively early in this game. They can now switch 1 through 4, and Jaquez, watch where she comes from. We saw this in the semifinal game as well, Ryan. She starts outside the three-point line. You see her at the top of the screen. Has a nose for the ball, pursues it, and then the savvy to collect and finish while she's getting fouled.
Holly?
The strength and conditioning coach for UCLA told us Gabriela Jaquez's performance numbers were the output of 2 players. She was all over the floor in the national semifinals. He said it was the best he's ever seen in 2 years working at UCLA. She's got that same energy and motor here today.
She is the winningest player in program history. Miriam Dowda getting early minutes, can't hit, rebound. Controlled by South Carolina, and another chance here for the Gamecocks. Latson, Dugalich all over, popped away. Rice got a hand on it, and the Bruins control. Here's Rice, working behind Betts. Rice on the drive, beats bodies, couldn't finish. Edwards out in transition. Edwards, the Euro, left it short. Rebound Karams to Betts. Here is Rice. Neefkins, catch, fire. Can't hit. Neefkins, one of the better three-point shooters in all of college basketball, 43% on the season.
Both of these teams comfortable playing with pace, but we know with South Carolina, when they can get out in transition like Edwards did the last time, didn't convert, but those are the quick looks they're looking for.
Johnson in and out. And the rebound bounces over to Jaquez. Neefkins lobs it in. Dugalich spinning, fading. Oh, baby! What a move from Angela Dugalich.
When she is aggressive, she can find her spots, whether it's scoring around the rim or getting on the glass as well. That's been a point of emphasis for UCLA with Dugalich. They want her using her athleticism to get to the boards.
UConn also got out to an 11-4 lead on South Carolina in the semifinal, just as UCLA has right now. Dowd can't finish. Jaquez blasting ahead. Jaquez all the way in. Gets the whistle. And Gabriela Jaquez will shoot a pair.
Dugalich has good size at 6'4", faces up and then spins and turns, gets to her comfortable level, fade and finish.
Dugalich has gotten a lot of attention from WNBA front offices during this UCLA Final Four run, with 4 or 5 Bruins seniors expected to be first-round picks next Monday at the WNBA draft. Jaquez, one of them. You see, she is the winningest player in program history, and hits the first free throw. Rebecca, for a team who has not been here, like UCLA, they have looked very comfortable in the early minutes.
Usually you see a team, even a team that has been here before, in the national championship game, it takes a little bit of time, a couple minutes to catch your breath. We haven't seen that at all from UCLA.
A 7-0 run for the Bruins, 107 straight points scored by UCLA seniors. And while South Carolina has missed their last 6 shots. Tessa on the drive, hooks it in, plus the foul. When the Gamecocks need a bucket, they go to Tessa Johnson.
And oftentimes it's Raven Johnson making the call, knowing they need someone to settle them, and that Tessa Johnson will.
Started in 1982, and Corey Close has taken the Bruins to back-to-back Final Fours after they had not been in the NCAA era. Tessa Johnson completes the three-point play. And again, that's a theme we've seen all season. We saw against UConn the other night. When South Carolina needs a bucket, they go to Tessa. Here's Rice working behind the freshman Sienna Betts. Rice, mid-range, off the mark, poked in the air, battled by Betts, but Edwards wins it for the Gamecocks.
Raven Johnson has the ball in her hands ahead. Watch her hawk on the defensive end.
McKeer connects! How about this freshman? She has had 5 double-figure scoring games in the NCAA tournament after she had 3 all regular season.
She averaged under 6 points per game in the regular season at 14.5 here in the NCAA.
Ledger Walker left alone. Rims out. Rebound taken in by UCLA. And Dugalich getting minutes here for the Bruins. Didn't play in the semis. Ledger Walker. She got it. Dugalich getting early minutes for UCLA. Often they do not go to an 8th player.
She did not play at all in the semifinal game. Sienna Betts also in here. Corey Close buying her starters some minutes.
Edwards, no. Ocott the rebound. Knocked away. Tessa Johnson gets it back. A 16-10 UCLA lead. Ocott left alone. Can't hit. Long rebound UCLA, and it's going the other way. The foul called against Edwards.
Because of the way South Carolina plays defense, you know you can get a flare screen on the backside, and that's what we saw on the last possession. Sienna Betts comes up, sets the screen, McKeer gets caught, and that is why Ledger Walker was wide open for that three. Corey Close told us even before their game against Texas that they thought they could get that action.
Charlize Ledger Walker, one of the all-time greats at Washington State, scored 1,743 points there. Was injured last season at UCLA, a huge part of what the Bruins have been doing this season. Dugalich lobs it in, and O'Connor on the front knocks it away. Jaquez had it poked from Johnson, and it last hits the Bruins. It'll be South Carolina ball. Hey, the Frozen Four begins Thursday on ESPN2 at 5 p.m. For more information on upcoming NCAA championships, go to ncaa.com. Entertaining start to this national championship game. UCLA 50% from the floor in the first quarter, after they and Texas really struggled to score on Friday night. McKeer gets it back. Ocott? No. And Betts the rebound. Ocott now 1 of 6 to start.
She simply just doesn't look like she's comfortable out there right now in the spaces where she's catching it with the defenders she has.
Jaquez trying to save it, could not. And UCLA turns it over. 23 turnovers the other night for Corey Close's team, the most by any team in a Final Four win since Kansas back in 1988. But a lot of UCL players were actually encouraged by the fact they were able to win a game like that. They hadn't been in a ton of low-scoring games, gritty, grinded out, grimy battles, and they felt encouraged that they were able to find a path to victory in a game like that, as Betts having a little trouble there on the bench. So Betts checks out. Meanwhile, Alicia Tornabese, the 18-year-old freshman who joined South Carolina mid-season in. Jaquez gets whistled for the foul. We have our rules analyst, Dee Kantner, with us today. Dee, who officiated 26 Final Fours, as you see Lauren Betts saying, I have something stuck in my throat. And Dee, I know you've liked just the way the officials have set the tone early here today.
I do. I think they've done an excellent job of setting the tempo, communicating to the players, freedom of movement, what they're going to allow in this game. They've been consistent.
With the lineup that UCLA has on the floor, they can switch all 5 positions, as you saw there.
Rice comes in for the rebound. Betts still trying to navigate whatever's going on in her throat on that UCLA bench. Neepkins goes baseline. Neepkins looking for an angle, finds one short. Sienna Betts, no, knocked out of bounds by Black. Will stay with the Bruins.
Certainly need to keep an eye on the Lauren Betts situation. She is so important offensively and defensively. The multiple positions that she defends on the defensive end impacts how UCLA guards deny.
Rice short, rebound Edwards. And the Bruins survive these minutes with Betts on the bench. McDaniel off to Tornabese. That jumper won't go. Knocked out of bounds by Dugalich. It stays with South Carolina. And you see Betts is still trying to work out whatever's going on there on the bench, coughing into that towel. And you can see her saying, I don't know what's happening. You just certainly hope Lauren Betts is okay. First and foremost, her health. And then that she can get back into this game and be the factor that the country knows her to be. Here's McKeer. What a play by Dugalich. Jaquez off the deflection. Neepkins, guarded by Latson, has size on her. Neepkins doesn't get the roll. And Latson the rebound. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Maddie McDaniel scoots in. Can't bank it in. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Tornabese. It'll be UCLA ball.
But I think it's good for South Carolina, whether it's Latson or McDaniel, to try to get downhill, get some dribble penetration, then you can dump it off to your post for a layup or perhaps kick out for a three.
UCLA started this game 4 of 5 from the floor. They're 2 of 11 since. Many of those 11 attempts with Lauren Betts back on the bench. Here's Neepkins lobbing it in. Dugalich surrounded. Quick turn. And the finish for Angela Dugalich.
And to sense the double team coming from the middle side and then to go back to the baseline.
McDaniel went too early. South Carolina should have held for 1. And now UCLA will have a chance to as Rice peels out. Four seconds left. Rice a 3. You bet! What a finish to the first for the Bruins! UCLA ends the first quarter on an 8-0 run. They have an 11-point lead after 1. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley.
Coach Staley, UCLA's come out really efficient shooting right now. What does your defense have to change?
Yeah, we got to disrupt a little bit. Okay, I think we got to play more just inspired. Okay, we got to dictate a little bit more. They're getting to their spots, and we got to do a better job at just trying to be a little bit more physical with them and not let them cut in front of us. So it's just really disciplined defense.
You've gone to your bench early in that first quarter. What do you need energy-wise from your group?
Just a little energy, a little bit of speed, a little bit of scoring. So we got to find the right combination that can settle us down and put some points on the scoreboard and get some stops.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Alex.
And Gino Auriemma released a statement yesterday, issuing an apology, which we will show you in a moment. As second quarter action has started here between UCLA and South Carolina. Jaquez hooking it in. Dugalich laying it home. And the lead is 13 for UCLA.
South Carolina with their small lineup. Joyce Edwards at the 5. They've had a lot of success in limited sample size this year, and they had a lot of success using it against Connecticut as well.
Tessa Johnson able to end the run, and that's what Tessa does. We've talked about it before. They go on a run, and they look to Tessa. Meanwhile, Lauren Betts still on the UCLA bench. Latson took a shot. It leaves Dugalich open. Now Neepkins missed the 3. No! Got the banker! Some good fortune there for UCLA. Tessa Johnson again! Plus the foul, and a chance for 3. We just want to finish that thought. You heard from Dawn Staley saying, hey, I'm focusing on a national championship game. Gino Auriemma released a statement then yesterday calling his behavior inexcusable and wanting to put the attention back on the outstanding play of South Carolina.
And Ryan, Coach Auriemma is certainly wrong in that moment, which he acknowledged in that apology yesterday. And I know he has also since reached out personally to Dawn to apologize. It's unfortunate that it happened. It's unfortunate that any focus was taken off of South Carolina's performance. They were masterful in that game against Connecticut.
And trying to come back here with Tessa Johnson providing the offense. And Betts now back into the game for UCLA. An 11-point lead for the Bruins. Jaquez turns and lays on a great feed from Dugalich. The fingerprints of Dugalich all over this first half.
Certainly, and the versatility of the wings for UCLA, that they can get inside and post when they have a smaller defender.
McKeer, no. Rebound hits the floor. Edwards comes up with it for South Carolina. Raven Johnson, hand it to 3, in and out. Tessa, no. And Dugalich the board. Boy, South Carolina's had some looks from 3 that look good and just rim out. That toss. Not caught, but that's because Betts was being held. And Tanaya Latson, in this possession you saw, took a shot from Dugalich and still being looked at. I mean, Dean, one quick look at that. Could have been a moving screen there with the way Dugalich was leaning.
Very quick look at that. I wasn't refereeing that play, however, it doesn't look like she leaned a lot. I can't really assess on that, to be honest.
All right. Dugalich. Off to Neepkins, 7 to shoot. Neepkins drops it in. How about this? With Betts on the floor today, South Carolina 1 of 13 from the floor. UCLA now 7 of 11. The Bruins doubling up the Gamecocks. It's 30-15. Edwards spins, dishes, McDaniel can't hit. That's another rebound.
South Carolina forced to go back with a bigger lineup because of the way UCLA was able to get inside.
That's jumper. No. Jaquez doing it all. Keeps it alive. Ledger Walker, no. And Dowda comes down with it for South Carolina.
How did Jaquez, though, get the original offensive board surrounded by 4 defenders?
7 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for Jaquez. Dowda off on a 3, and South Carolina now 1 of 8 from three-point range.
It feels like South Carolina's taking the shots UCLA wants them to take.
That's traveled. And UCLA turns it over, just their third of the half.
Gianna Eakins is such a confident offensive player. Doesn't think anybody can limit what she can do there. The little kicked up foot, fade away. It's a tough finish.
Benaya Latson back in for South Carolina. Rebecca, how do the Gamecocks sort of rhythm here against UCLA?
Well, I think having Raven Johnson on the floor is important. You look for them to run something. You've mentioned it multiple times that involves Tessa Johnson. She's been a good decision maker today. Benaya Latson trying to get downhill.
Ravens mid-range is good. Big bucket there for the senior Raven Johnson.
And you see UCLA's ability to switch, and Lauren Betts contesting that shot. That's a really tough finish for Raven Johnson over a 6'7" shot blocker.
Raven Johnson has gone to 5 Final Fours in her collegiate career. And a whistle here against South Carolina.
Raven Johnson is able to get in. This Lauren Betts on her, moves her feet pretty well. Lauren Betts does a nice job when she's a perimeter defender, stays right with her. That's a tough look, tough finish for Raven Johnson.
We've seen Corey Close go significantly deeper in her bench in this game. Just saw Amanda Muse getting some minutes. Meanwhile, you see Raven Johnson second all-time in South Carolina history in wins. Only Victoria Saxton with more. Betts can't hit. Latson the board. Here come the Gamecocks. Latson, little pull-up. Won't rim in. And the rebound caroms out to Jaquez. Rice looking back at Corey Close. Giving instruction. Rice into the paint, the kick, Ledger Walker. Short, Rice the O-board. And another chance for UCLA.
Keep in mind, UCLA all season long, outstanding offensive rebounding team. When they miss a shot, 40% of the time, they go and get the offensive board.
Betts left alone. Connects! An 8-2 advantage and second chance points for the Bruins. Jaquez, little bump on the drive. Betts and Jaquez were there as Latson was fouled.
But they have been here, they've been in big moments, and they certainly came out ready from the jump of this game.
They have won 30 straight games. Longest winning streak in school history. UCLA looking to become just the second Big Ten school ever to win an NCAA title. Our colleague, teammate, wonderful human Carolyn Peck's 99 Purdue team, Stephanie White, is the only current Big Ten team to ever win a title.
Dawn Staley goes to Joyce Edwards, gets her in a very comfortable position, and then now South Carolina extending their defense. Looks like they're in a 2-3 zone. Try to get UCLA out of their rhythm.
Those are the first points of the game for Edwards. 6 on the shot clock. Jaquez with 3, trying to make it happen. Jaquez misses everything, and a great defensive possession from the Gamecocks.
We've seen this all season long from Dawn Staley and her staff, is switching things up defensively to make their opponent uncomfortable. Certainly we saw that.
Defensive game plan against UConn.
Yes, earlier in the year against Tennessee, they went to a heavy loaded zone and made things challenging.
32-19, UCLA in front. 3:45 to go in the first half. Tessa giving it up. Latson putting it on the deck. Misses the layup. And the rebound caroms off of South Carolina. Courtside at the Women's Final Four presented by AT&T. Jess Sims, Katie Feeney, Alona Marr, and Chelsea Gray sitting courtside today on ESPN as the possession arrow belongs to UCLA. Great pressure there from the Gamecocks.
That's what we're seeing. That's different from South Carolina. They're extending their pressure. We saw UCLA have all kinds of problems against Texas when they extended their pressure as well. Now, South Carolina's pressure is different. They're not full denying the inbounds, but see if UCLA is able to handle it better than they did against Texas.
That's going to be a 10-second violation. They only had 4 to get it over after where the initial held ball happened. And that's going to be a Bruins turnover, just their 5th of the half.
But that's what you're trying to do defensively, right? Just find something to shift momentum, find something to get your opponent off balance. That has certainly been the case the last couple of possessions for UCLA on the offensive end.
In the corner, Edwards. Giving space. Edwards creeping down. Twists. Can't hit. Betts the board. O'Connor hits the floor. Betts looking for help. Gets it into the arms of Ledger Walker. Has to get it across again. Now realizes it. Has it intercepted. Latson with Johnson. And Latson lays it in. Plus the foul. No foul, just a timeout taken by UCLA.
Jamming the rebounder initially, making it hard for UCLA to get it over the timeline, and then Latson coming in with the finish. This is the burst that South Carolina has been looking for.
After they had done such a great job protecting the basketball all game long, the Bruins have now turned it over in each of their last 3 possessions, something they've done 3 times all game prior.
South Carolina scoring has given them the ability to set up their pressure.
Betts gets it across with Jaquez. Here is Jaquez. Betts in the corner. Eyes up, out to Rice. Dugalich. 8 to shoot. Neepkins with 7. Rice directing traffic with 4. Down to 2. Dugalich gonna have to hoist. Does. Got it on the rim. Nothing more as Edwards comes up with a rebound. And for the first time in this national championship game, it feels like South Carolina has some momentum.
And it has completely started with their shift on the defensive end to the zone and then picking up pressure.
Latson led the nation in scoring last year. Edwards, no. Rebound Rice looking to push for UCLA. Rice weaving, dishing. Jaquez can't hit. Betts the O-board. They redirect it. Rice will drive and lay it in.
UCLA got the defense shifting, made one more pass, and then Kiki Rice was able to attack the lane that was there.
Kiki Rice having a very poised championship game thus far as UCLA picks up the foul. And coming up, it's the Dove Clinical Plus Care halftime report. There are ladies, Christine Williamson, Andrea Carter, Shanae Agumake. Done a terrific job all season long and been so fun hanging with them throughout this tournament. Neepkins picks up her first personal. O'Connor trying to go in on Betts, had it knocked away. Edwards redirects. Raven Johnson, 5 to shoot. O'Connor given space, can't hit. Dugalich the rebound. O'Connor has struggled from the floor, 1 of 7.
That's because UCLA is making her take shots from uncomfortable positions.
Neepkins fades and drops it in. 7 points for the Utah transfer, Gianna Neepkins. Tessa connects. Executed the 2-for-1 as well.
Heavy dose of that. Tessa Johnson put her in ball screen. She's really good coming off and hitting the mid-range.
Got a 4-second difference game in shot clock. Rice, letting it wind. Kicks it out. Dugalich, back ironing off. And a foul on Dugalich. That'll be her second.
UCLA wants Dugalich to be aggressive, but also smart. They want her attacking the offensive glass, but 10 seconds left. This is not a foul that you would want her to get.
Dugalich will check out for this final defensive possession rather than risk a third foul. Raven Johnson eyes the clock. 5 seconds left in the first half. Johnson on the drive, 2 seconds. Johnson doesn't get it off. That'll do it for the first half. UCLA, a 36-23 lead at halftime. As Raven Johnson, Medino, 20-22. Shot just 26%. How do they respond? Seeking a third title in 5 years, a fourth in the last 10. Edwards guarded by Jaquez. Raven Johnson can't hit. Okat, the offensive rebound, and the putback. That is her look.
That is huge for her, and it looked like South Carolina was running a set diagonal upstream for her to get the ball on the block. She didn't, but then got the O board, put it in. Always helpful to see one go.
Here's Jaquez, lobbing it in, bets the deep catch and the easy lay.
Jaquez made that pass look easy. That is a tough over-the-top pass to execute.
Neepkins will fire. No. And Raven Johnson the rebound. Neepkins not shy from three. That's going to be an offensive foul. Okat called for the moving screen. That'll be her second personal.
High-low action, and especially when you're getting it over the arms of a 6'6 defender here. Just beautifully lofted over the top where Lauren Betts can catch it and then finish.
And Jaquez in this game, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, done a little bit of everything. Ledger Walker breaks the timeline against the pressure. And a whistle here against South Carolina. Head coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship game begins tomorrow night on TBS. For more information, go to ncaa.com. It'll be UConn against Michigan. Number 3 on Okat. She'll check out. And now South Carolina goes a little smaller. Joyce Edwards to the 5 in this lineup.
Yeah, we saw that a little bit in the first half as well. UCLA try to get Lauren Betts a touch inside.
Neepkins kicks. Ledger Walker can hit. Rebound Jaquez inside. How about Gabriela Jaquez?
They call her all gas Gabs, and you see why. She runs the floor. She gets to the glass. So much hustle to her game.
Deflected by Betts. And then Betts takes it away from Edwards. Here's Rice with South Carolina back. She'll peel out. Ledger Walker has the seam, missed the lay. Jaquez again a factor. Raven Johnson taken away by Rice. South Carolina a little sloppy with the basketball in this third. Ledger Walker, turn it!
And right now, this is the difference in both teams on the offensive end. UCLA doing what they're comfortable doing.
And their fans have traveled well here to Phoenix. Edwards, no. Jaquez gets clobbered by Johnson.
Kiki Ray is able to get out in the lane, reads the eyes, turns. Wow, that's a tough steal. Great look at it. She's smiling, feeling good. Ledger Walker goes to the right corner, hits the shot. The previous possession, Ledger Walker went inside, and that's not really her comfort zone. You know, adjusted her shot midair. Open 3 from the corner, that is comfortable for her.
Her second 3 of the game. Here's Rice against the pressure of Latson. Every single one of UCLA's seniors playing so well in this national championship game. Rice. Dugalich dumps it in. Kick it out. Jaquez. Back ironing off. Gets the rebound. Another chance for UCLA. Dugalich can't bank it in, but gets the whistle. And Angela Dugalich will shoot 12 offensive rebounds now for UCLA.
Yeah, they continue to be dominant on the glass. They're plus 13 for the game, but this is what they do. And it's not just Lauren Betts with her size. You've seen how Jaquez has just been all over the glass.
How about Gabriela Jaquez? 9 rebounds in this game. Her brother Jaime, fresh off a plane into Phoenix after scoring 32 points for the Miami Heat last night. Here to support baby sis as Dugalich misses the second. And McKeer is fouled. Jaime got up. Yeah, her parents are hanging out here. Jaime might have to go right back to the Heat. He was here in the first half. He caught all he could. You see Angela and Jaime Sr. catching the action. Now that foul on Dugalich that is a consequential foul for UCLA, as Dugalich, as Corey Close calls her, is a matchup nightmare.
And on the defensive end as well, she allows them to switch 1 through 4. They don't do that with a smaller lineup.
McDaniel gets fouled by Rice. And Maddie McDaniel is going to shoot 2. By the way, Jaime visited the All-Cast earlier in the game.
He's got a break. Maybe he's got some popcorn.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't presume to know why he is or is not in his seat.
He's on better seats.
You know, one thing, just want to take the opportunity to say, what an incredible host city Phoenix has been for this Final Four. The energy, the signage, the atmosphere, the hospitality, all top-notch, and no surprise from a city that has embraced women's hoops long ago.
One of the original franchises in the WNBA was the Phoenix Mercury. It had consistent success. Now here you see South Carolina again.
Extending the pressure, yes. This time UCLA breaking it with a little more fluidity. Ledger Walker. Off to Jaquez. Neepkins on the attack. The pull-up short. Jaquez again gets in there. Held ball, and it's UCLA possession.
She's just constant hustle all the time. You see it here once again. Comes in, a knack for the basketball, gets the tie-up.
Neepkins, no. Guess who? Jaquez keeps it alive. UCLA dominating the glass. They are a plus 14. That was Dawn Staley's #1 key to us. That's the catch and the finish.
And that's where UCLA will continue to look against this small lineup. Joyce Edwards doing what she can, trying to fight around and get in front. But it's tough when you have a high-low pass and there's no help side defense.
Largest deficit South Carolina's faced this season. As Betts comes up with a rejection. Jaquez the lay.
Getting crushed on the boards right now. 15 is the differential in rebounding right now for South Carolina and UCLA. The last thing they said, only positivity from here out. They've got to think of what can we do instead of focusing on what they can't.
All right, good stuff, Hall, as McKeer drops it in. Beautiful play out of the timeout for Dawn Staley's team.
And once again, dribble penetration, draw the big Betts as your defender, and then leave it for another player for an easier look. We've seen that multiple times have success for South Carolina.
Again, minutes for Village. Can't hit the 3 there. Quite confident of Village early in the shot clock, making the most of her limited minutes. Did not play in the semi. Tessa Johnson, no. Cornabees flags down the rebound. It'll stay with South Carolina. We'll step aside midway through the third. That trophy is on the line. Played. We only had one play. Grab the rebound and run. That was it. She's shown that off here in the national championship game. Meanwhile, how about UCLA forcing a 5-second violation out of the timeout?
Especially knowing that South Carolina had a set drawn up under their own basket.
Ledger Walker stepped out of bounds. UCLA gives it back. You saw that number before with Betts. 21 points, scored or assisted on, and that's the thing, Jaquez rather, that's the thing, she impacts winning in just so many different ways. Today it's the 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Tessa Johnson in a crowd, elevates. Wow, tournament Tessa is definitely here. 12 points, she's been the only efficient player for the Gamecocks. Raven Johnson gets in there, and South Carolina has the possession arrow.
Again, South Carolina with success, picking up full court pressure. They force a turnover the last possession by forcing UCLA up the sideline. This time, just making the deny for the entry pass difficult.
Sienna Betts will check out. The freshman, the sister of Lauren Betts, one of the top recruits in the nation this past year. Tessa with space, pull up. That one won't go. Rice grabs the deflected rebound. .405 to go in the third. UCLA an 18-point lead in the national championship game. Rice gives it up to Lauren Betts, now wearing number 26 after getting blood on her 51 jersey. Rice, pull up, maybe got hit from behind the ball. South Carolina comes up with it. Edwards just 2 points today. Tornabees, no. South Carolina continues to struggle to score. Under 27% from the floor against this outstanding UCLA defense. Betts kicking out. Jaquez, you bet!
You know when Lauren Betts gets a touch, she's going to demand extra attention. That time, the great weak side out pass by Betts.
It is a 21-point UCLA lead, and that's going to be number 4 on Dugalich.
Lauren Betts has the ball and the wherewithal to look to the weak side. You know the defense is going to be overloaded. That's the pass to the player that might be open, and Jaquez drills it.
Jaquez, a career-high 39% from 3 this season. She has 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists in the national championship game. Raven Johnson stuck underneath the hoop. Curls it out. Tessa. Back to Raven. Her 3 won't go. Tornabees had it stripped by Ledger Walker. And then Tornabees fouls Rice. Hey, tonight on ESPN and ESPN app, it's the Rangers and the Caps. On our Disney channels, another virtual real-time version of the game featuring the inside-out characters. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. UCLA has been known over the last couple of seasons for the rhythm of their offense, the way they move the basketball, the dominance of their scoring, but we have seen their defense on full display thus far in this Final Four, first against Texas and now against South Carolina, as we check in with Holly.
Well, Kiki Rice had shoulder surgery in the offseason last year, and for 6 months couldn't really touch a basketball. So she watched film and got better at defense. That's why they've turned their defense around, Ryan.
No doubt, Holly. Kiki worked on all the things she could. Meanwhile, Joyce Edwards down. And a little skirmish underneath the hoop between UCLA and South Carolina as Edwards comes back to her feet.
Here in the scrum as Joyce Edwards is trying to go for the basketball. Immediately when she comes up, is holding her shoulder.
Speaking of shoulders, like Holly was just talking about with Kiki Rice. All right, let's go back to Holly for a little more.
That shoulder has been an issue for Joyce Edwards this year. She frequently wears a strap or a brace underneath her uniform. She does wear it at practice, so that is a previous injury that could have been just exacerbated.
All right, Holly, thank you very much.
Sienna Betts getting attended to now. There's a lot of blood on jerseys and bodies in the game so far.
Also, we've now had 2 significant players switch jerseys at this Final Four. Sarah Strong after she ripped her own jersey, and then today, Lauren Betts with the blood on her.
I can't be the only one wondering, like, that's the number you choose?
Right,
Your equipment person chooses to bring as the extra jersey. 26 is a baseball number? That's not really a basketball number.
Right.
It's a weird number to choose for your spare jersey.
I guess that's the only one they brought. Here's Tornabees. And at the three, we did not see Tornabees against UConn in the semi, getting significant run here against UCLA as Dawn Staley looks for some answers. Sienna Betts, Neefkins, little pull-up, rims off. Sienna Betts, the O-board, kicks it out. Neefkins a three, is good! It is raining baby blue in Phoenix.
Sienna Betts gets the offensive board and then kicks it out to her sister. Lauren knows I've got a three-point shooter to my right, passes it there, Neefkins drains it. Wow, the way UCLA has been firing on all cylinders offensively and clamped it down defensively has been so incredibly impressive.
A dominant performance thus far as McKeer fouls Rice. UCLA in the bonus, and Rice will go to the line. We know South Carolina fans travel everywhere. They get great crowds no matter where they play in the country. We felt that here in Phoenix. It has been remarkable, even pregame, to hear the UCLA fans in this building and the following the Bruins have here for the national championship game as this program tries to turn back the clock to 1978. How?
Well, Gianna Neefkins, a transfer in from Utah, is having a really great game so far. She gets a lot of this toughness and able to work through physicality because she is the youngest of 6 children. And all of the olders are brothers. She has had to go up against them her whole life. She said, my brothers made me tough. And she's really showcasing that today. There she is, baby girl.
Look at the look on her face, the smile, the closed eyes. It might be from the smell of the brothers. For people who have brothers can understand that.
That was just basically the face she made throughout her entire childhood.
Probably. Anytime she was around them.
A 27-point UCLA lead. The South Carolina have some fight left in them. Latson will peel back out. Knocked away. This defense has been incredible from UCLA. Even Amanda Muse getting it on it.
Thought you were going to go even Amanda Muse, but you didn't.
Latson knocks it away. Jaquez comes up with it. 10 to shoot. Ledger Walker trapped in the corner. Jaquez, 3 to shoot. Neefkins, no. Betts the rebound. Another chance here for UCLA. Ledger Walker lays it in. Edwards loses it out of bounds. It's been that kind of afternoon for South Carolina.
The right instinct when you're struggling to score in the quarter court to try to push pace. See if you can beat the defense down. South Carolina hasn't been able to do that.
Jaquez trapped, and Corey Close will take a timeout. With 29 seconds to go in this third, and UCLA a 59-30 lead on South Carolina. Hey, the 30th annual WNBA draft, Monday, April 13th on ESPN, the ESPN app. Dallas Wings have the first pick, followed by the Lynx, Storm, Mystics, and Sky. The expansion of Toronto Tempo and Portland Fire of the 6th and 7th picks. Our coverage begins with WNBA Countdown at 6:30 Eastern. We mentioned it before, UCLA expected to have 4 or 5 first-rounders. South Carolina will have Raven Johnson, Tanaya Latson, Medina Okada all being drafted that night as well. And look, Lauren Betts' jersey's back. We got that blood out. She's no longer number 26. I mean, Rebecca This has been such a dominant performance from UCLA today.
And again, you kind of expect what they've done on the offensive end, or you're not surprised by it, I should say, because of how potent they've been on that end of the floor this year. South Carolina is a team fourth in the country in field goal percentage on the season, 51%, third in scoring. What UCLA has done in a dominant fashion on the defensive end has been what's been most impressive to me.
They held Madison Booker to 6 points on 3 of 23 shooting. They have held Joyce Edwards to 2 points on 1 of 8 shooting thus far in the national championship game. Second foul on Tornabees. Lauren Betts at the line. Let's check in with Hal.
Well, since the 26 was bothering you, Rebecca, there is a 51 jersey. She actually had this spare 51 jersey, but it was back in the locker room. It did take just a minute to go back and get it. The 26 was just a temporary blurb, and we have righted the ship here. I hope that makes you more comfortable.
I love that they have second jerseys for their players. Just if you have the random extra jersey, I'm just curious about the 26. I guess because nobody else has it.
I'm sure we can get to the bottom of that post-game.
But no more during the game.
Meanwhile, how about the foul there? Or are they going to call a lane violation? Yeah, it'll be a lane violation. So another chance here for Lauren Betts. Betts, the first player in Big Ten history to win Defensive Player of the Year and Player of the Year in the same season. And a 13-0 UCLA run. Lena Village into the game for UCLA. The Bruins outscoring the Gamecocks 25-7 in this third. We'll chat with UCLA head coach Corey Close at the start of the fourth. Latson on the drive, gets denied by Betts. Edwards fouled. Free throws here for Joyce Edwards.
UCLA foul number 9, Lena Village, first personal. Edwards to the line for 2 shots.
Edwards. It's the first. Joyce Edwards, 21 20-point games this season. A record under Dawn Staley. Also a program record for most total points in a single season. With 763 that has been held in check today by UCLA. That'll end the third. UCLA takes a 29-point lead into the fourth quarter. Largest margin from delivering their first championship in the NCAA era as we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, get a scholarship was hard for Gabriella. She grew up in LA, but in her senior year of high school wasn't getting any offers, wasn't getting any looks, so she joined an AAU team in Oakland. She would have to get on a flight 2 times a month to go play with this team that had other great players get scholarships like Cameron Brink, Sabrina Ionesco, Haley Jones. That got her some exposure, and she got seen by UCLA. And not only did she play here in basketball as a scholarship athlete, she also was at the Women's College World Series as a softball player 2 years ago.
Pretty incredible how. Here is Jaquez, start of this fourth. Dawn Staley deploying a double big lineup here with Tornabees and Ocott. Betts 3 to shoot. Betts fading, can't hit. Tornabees the rebound. Tessa Johnson at 3. That one rims off. Tornabees gets fouled.
Cut into this deficit. South Carolina is going to have to hit some threes. Their primary weapon there is Tessa Johnson, or get more opportunities. And getting to the offensive glass by Tornabees, certainly, of course, couple those things with getting stops on the other end.
South Carolina just 1 of 12 from 3 in this game. They've been a really good three-point shooting team this season. 4th in the country at just under 38%. Taken away by Jaquez. Jaquez all the way in for 2. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and that steal for Jaquez. Wow. There's too much heat on that pass from Tornabees.
Jaquez just coming out, jumping, the little poke with the right hand, and then able to collect it and go the other way. What more could she possibly do?
And the Jaquez family has been doing a lot of high-fiving. Rice in some trouble, out of bounds, and UCLA will have 3 seconds to get it across. And remember, in the college game, it's when it's touched on the other side of half court. The ball can't just get across midair like it can in the pros. You've taught me well, right, D?
You're on it, Ryan. Yep.
D. Kantner, our rules analyst, been so wonderful all season for us. After 36 years as an NCAA official, 26 Final Fours. Here's Dugalich, denied by Tornabese. Hey, Rebecca, in addition to South Carolina needing threes with Tornabese on the floor, how about just Dawn Staley getting her 18-year-old some experience in this moment?
Certainly she is a very skilled young woman, and just having her get this experience so when they are hopeful to be back next year, she would feel more comfortable in it.
You know, Tornabese was not slated to join South Carolina this season, but was not playing a ton on her pro team. Dawn Staley said, hey, we could use you this year if you want to come, and came early, ended up making an impact on this team on their road to this national championship game. As Neepkins sinks the first. Neepkins hits both. Now she'll check out, Ledger Walker in. Corey Close in her 15th season at the helm of UCLA, and a little more than 8 minutes away from a title. Okai, oh yes, and the foul. Adina Okai with a chance for 3.
From UCLA, Kiki Rice, second personal, second team.
Joyce Edwards will come back in as Tornabese will check out now.
Okai to the line.
Okai misses the free throw. South Carolina 7 of 9 from the line. UCLA 11 of 13. The UCLA team that was pushed to the limit by Duke in the Elite Eight. Suffocated Texas in the semifinal and has overwhelmed South Carolina here in the national championship game thus far.
Lauren Betts with the on-ball screen, and then she rolled into the paint. Raven Johnson stuck defending her. UCLA should have tried to go high-low, would have been better off getting to the wing and then the entry, but foul was called anyway.
Third foul on Raven Johnson as Rice lays it in with the left hand. A 67-34 lead over South Carolina. Kiki Rice, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Edwards, bodies in, gets the roll on the reverse. Nice finish there from Joyce Edwards. Ledger Walker loses the dribble out of bounds. On the pressure from Laxon. Raven Johnson can it to 3. Tessa the rebound. Tessa working her way through traffic, drops it in. She's been the one source of offense today for South Carolina, now with 14 points.
South Carolina, again, this is a huge deficit, but they need to continue to work, try to get stops, steals if they can, and quick buckets the other way.
And a whistle underneath against South Carolina, trying to deal with Lauren Betts. UCLA held a Texas team 40 points below their average in the semis. And you see what they've done to South Carolina today, who averages 87.5 points. Combined, those teams have shot a paltry 29% against the Bruins. Latson loses it out of bounds. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Ryan, you might remember that on this same stage last year, that happened to UCLA. They lost a 34-point game in the national semifinal to UConn. I'm going to lay out because this is important. Gabriella getting a standing O.
Good feel, Hal, no doubt. Jaquez getting the ovation she deserves. And we will step aside rather than their larger travel party. They made sure to have intermittent breaks for film amongst all the different obligations, and obviously it has paid off on the floor.
And one of the things that she did that was interesting, she said we kept things to a one-day scout, the way we had done them when we were in the Pac-12, not the two-day scouts that they do in the Big Ten. You only have 1 day to prepare in the NCAA tournament. That's how we handled our entire regular season.
Wanted to prepare them for this moment. Neepkins at 3. Why not? Here's Tessa Johnson, partially blocked by Betts. Edwards lays it in. You know, just put a ball in the story Holly was telling before. After that national champion, or that semifinal loss last year to UConn, Gabriella Jaquez gathered her team, and she said, we all need to look in the mirror and decide what kind of team we want to be. And Jaquez also told us that included Corey Close, and realizing there were certain moments where she was going to have to be a little tougher on them in order to get the most out of them when it came to the details, which Corey would say, I hate coming in hot in film, but I know it's what you need right now. And that clearly has paid off. And Jaquez will check back in, so too will Village. We send things back over to Holly.
Well, talking about Corey Close's coaching philosophy, she got that at the knee of John Wooden when she was an assistant coach there at UCLA. Early on in her career, she went over to Coach Wooden's house with Steve Lavin, and she had the same same name as his great-granddaughter. And he said, "Man, you're somebody great. I want you to see you more." So every Tuesday for over a decade, she would go and see him every single Tuesday before he died. And she said, he really taught me that foundation of what I needed as a young person, how to pour into my players, and that holistic approach that you're speaking of, Ryan.
Pretty amazing. Tuesdays with Coach instead of Tuesdays with Maury. And Raven Johnson will check out for South Carolina. One of the all-time greats in Gamecock history. Second on the all-time win list. We'll see if she sees the floor again in this fourth quarter. Jaquez turns the corner. It is a Bruin deluge here in Phoenix. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists for Gabriella Jaquez. Corner beams, can't in.
Constantly with a lot of young players on the floor.
That's on the run. She can do that too. Yeah, Maddie McDaniel, Agat McKeer, Alicia Tornabese, Miriam Dowda, Isla McDowell all getting time here. As McKeer, who you are going to be watching a lot of over the next few years, buries the jumper. McKeer just 4 points away from scoring the most points off of the bench in a single NCAA tournament ever. And there's McKeer on the steal with under 4 minutes to go. McKeer gets fouled. McKeer will go to the line.
Certainly, even in a game with this kind of score discrepancy, all of these minutes are valuable for these young players for South Carolina. Get a feel for the arena, the moment.
These seniors completely changed this program. Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice The seniors of UCLA have scored their last 170 points. Corey Close pointed out earlier in the week that Lauren Betts may not have transferred from Stanford to UCLA if it was not for Kiki Rice. She was a player that Betts wanted to come play with. And those two about to become national champions.
The top 2 rated recruits in their high school class, and what a journey they've gone on together.
Jaquez keeps it alive because of course she does. 5 on the shot clock. Ledger Walker can't bank it in. Dugalich the rebound. Fighting through. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the national championship game. Jaquez, you bet! Only on top. What a performance from Gabriela Jaquez. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. As Ledger Walker gets called for the foul.
Gabriela Jaquez has done everything, including scoring, yes, but her imprint has been all over this game. You see her teammates and the joy that she brings to them after the score. What do you think? Gabriela Jaquez end up being the MVP of the most outstanding performer this tournament?
She certainly was in this game.
Yes.
We were asking Gabriela, what would you want people to know about this senior class? And she said, how much we truly love each other. We spend all of our time together off the floor. Most of our texts on our group chat are about how badly we want to win. We're able to have tough conversations together as well because we know how real that love is. Neepkins can't finish that one. Tornaby's the rebound. McKeer gets fouled. I want to spend a moment here on South Carolina, Rebecca, because you cannot say enough about the coaching job that Dawn Staley did with this group this season. As Neepkins will check out and get her ovation for UCLA. Dawn was honest with us yesterday. We said, did you think this was a team that could get to a national championship earlier in the year? And she said, with a big smile, no, I didn't. We couldn't quite get all parts of our game to mesh, but after that SEC title loss to Texas, we figured it out as a group. Remember, this is a South Carolina team that has been without Chloe Kitts, one of their top players all season because of a torn ACL. Ashlyn Watkins not with the program this year. She had been one of their top players in seasons past. And yet Dawn still able to navigate with this group to this game for a 3rd straight year.
And figuring out how to play to her team's strengths. This is a team and a program in South Carolina that historically has been big dominant, playing high-low action. We saw different kind of offensive schemes and sets from them this year that fit their personnel better. Certainly saw them just continue to grow and improve throughout the course of the season. Today is not a great representation of how they were playing throughout the course of the latter part of the regular season and into the tournament.
And what they did snapping the 54-game winning streak against UConn in the semifinals. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. UCLA will have gone through this Final Four never trailing to Texas or South Carolina. And our colleagues, Carolyn Peck, Stephanie White, about to have some company as UCLA will become just the 2nd Big Ten team to ever win an NCAA championship, joining Purdue in 1999. As Miriam Dowda hits the 3. Crowd on its feet, ready to party. Hughes can't finish. Tornabees the rebound, under 40 seconds to go. And Tornabees throws it away. About a 6.9-second differential game in shot clock. UCLA 6 seniors about to experience the ultimate triumph in this sport. Ledger Walker will take the violation. Have to have one more inbound here. And for the first time since 1978, UCLA is back.